with us. Jay, what do you make of this contract?
I think that it showed that Le'Veon, in my opinion, made the wrong move last year. You know, we always said this is going to be 14 plus that he can never make up, depending on what the next contract is. He really needed to make up all that lost money in this, and he didn't. In fact, it averages out to a little less than 14 a year. So that's a significant chunk of change that you can never, ever make back in a position that has the shortest shelf life in the NFL.
So it sounded like in the end that the Jets were bidding against themselves because it sounded like everybody had dropped out. Is that pretty much?
Skip, it was so bad yesterday there were a lot of favors going on yesterday amongst others in the media of just trying to help out Le'Veon Bell's guy. And yeah, there was the Jets and, because there's a lot of things that go on here. One, teams always look at it skill versus circus, right? Skill, no question. But he brought a big circus too. If he had just played last year, you're just going by the skill, there would have been a lot of bidders, I think. But a lot of teams said, we just don't want to deal with the circus. They also heard how much money he's going to want, all the different things that were being put out there. It's incredible how many teams will hear something, even from social media, and they'll buy it. And they'll go, oh, I hear he wants this. We're not going to do it. I hear he wants quarterback money. We're going to bail out. They don't even bother calling the agent. So, in the end there, I think Le'Veon, he overplayed his hand, and look, I know we can say, well, he got to take a year off. You're missing out on $15 million. And also, being away from the guys, it's not what you want. The locker room, when you retire from the NFL, it's the locker room. So, dudes, that's what you miss the most. And he missed a year of that.
And Pittsburgh's locker room pretty much quit on him, it sounded like, right?
Well, it was the other way because they thought he was coming in. They truly thought he was coming in. And, they were given every indication. When it didn't happen, they looked at it like, hey, you're telling, you could tell us, be straight with us, but don't play us as well. And I think that's where they got a little, hurt with that.
So what will he mean to the Jets at this stage of his career?
It'll be interesting with him and Adam Gase. But, Adam Gase does have a very good offensive mind. But Adam Gase is like set in his ways. And that's really what happened with Miami. It was almost like to the owner, like, hey, this is what I do. Just leave me alone. Let me coach the team and you go own the team. And it's not kind of really how Mr. Ross is down there. But I think Adam Gase, with the way he runs an offense, he's going to find an awful lot of ways to use Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell is a different type of player. He's not just a running back. He's a hybrid. He does all these different things. He's a matchup nightmare for safeties, for wide receivers, for cornerbacks. Use them the right way, he absolutely is worth the money.
Do you expect Tom Brady to show any decline at age 42 next year?
I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't either.
Right? I haven't seen it.
We haven't seen it.
But the thing that Tom does that's different than everybody else is Tom figures ways to outwork the world as he gets older. What can I do? The great ones do that. How can I... A lot of guys come out of college and they're like, hey, what I did in college, like what got me to succeed there, I'll just use that in the NFL. That's not the case. You got to work yourself. You got an extra 20 hours a day to work on your craft. Tom does. And that's why, in every way possible, and that's why he's able to continue to really beat back Father Time. That's why guys like him or Drew Brees or the Andrew Whitworths of the world, their work ethic, it's just different.
So I can't let you go without asking about my Dallas Cowboys because they've been all too quiet once again through another offseason. Obviously, they're waiting to pay a whole bunch of star talent on the offensive side, and they've paid a whole bunch of offensive line talent. Do you expect them to do anything else free agent-wise, any acquisitions?
As I was told yesterday, wait for all the craziness to end. And it's not just them. There are teams with a lot of cap room who texted exactly that. We're going to wait for this foolishness to end.
Really?
Okay.
Yes. Wait for it to end, and then you'll get some good deals. I will say this. One thing, the Dallas Cowboys, they don't get enough credit because they're such a circus in what they do there. But them as a GM, they have drafted incredibly well over the last couple of years by putting in the right kind of guys, those offensive linemen, by putting in the defensive back there. They're real by bringing in a Leighton Vander Esch and not pulling the plug on, in the past they couldn't resist temptation. Last couple of years they have, and they've built a really solid nucleus over there.
I think they'll miss Cole Beasley at least a little bit. He's a little guy, but they're going to miss him a little bit.
They could replace him with a similar type player in the draft. I do agree with you. It's just locker room type guys. They're going to have to, again, they're going to have to draft well. They're going to have to bring in those other weapons. Now they got a guy like Amari Cooper in there, who we're down at the Pro Bowl and they're talking like, hey, we've got to teach him an awful lot of things. I think Amari's just like we talk. He's like, I'm good. I can eat whatever I want. I can do whatever I want. And a lot of guys like Dak and those guys down there, they don't. Those guys work. Dak works. Obviously, Jason Witten works. And I think Amari Cooper is just going to get better and better being around those guys.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's
feeling better.
Something to hold on to, right?
Okay, it's been a
They got a good.
couple days.
No. Just wait. They'll add in. They don't need an awful lot. Look what they just did.
Right.
They don't need an awful lot.
You feel okay?
Not really, but I'll try.
Either way,
I tried
it's
for you,
better
man.
than
I tried for
nothing.
you.
Jay, always good to have you.
Thank
You're a
you,
busy guy,
Thank you.
making time for Undisputed. Next up, should the Warriors be scared of the Rockets in the West? We'll discuss next.